Hello, 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 and here we are again. It's coffee time once more. Can you believe it? And coffee time's where I go on the Daily Mail website and I look at the stories and I try and I don't know what I do, but that's what we do. I do it to something for the missus to watch while she's eating a sandwich. That's it. More Russell Brand. It's going to rumble on this one. It's going to rumble on. YouTube suspends Russell Brand from making money on his channel. Yeah, they've taken his monetization away, and they reckon he could be making up to £1 million a year on YouTube because he's violated creator responsibility policy. Apparently, you've got to be a responsible creator. Thankfully, I'm utterly and totally responsible, whereas Russell Brand isn't. Yeah, so there you go. Apparently, the 48-year-old produces 5 videos a week with 6.6 million subscribers, earning an estimated £1 million a year. You get this right. Coffee Time sometimes gets about, I don't know, 130 views, right, on YouTube. I've been posting them on Facebook, and I've been getting 5 times the traffic. So there you go. So yeah, YouTube's broken. So yeah, that's without even really like doing anything. It's good, isn't it? So he ought to move over to Facebook. Yeah, under the terms of his suspension, Brand, whose net worth is estimated between 15 and 40 million quid. Apparently, when he was married to Katy Perry, they didn't have a prenup, and he could have taken her to the cleaners, but he didn't. He didn't. He walked away with nothing because he wanted it to be an amicable split. Isn't that nice? So he's not all bad then, is he? So yeah. And if you want to watch some good shit, that's his channel. Go there. Don't watch my shit. Watch his shit. Oh, this is going to rumble on, isn't it? Remember, he is innocent until proven guilty. But he's been found guilty by the court of public opinion. Send him down, my lad. But also, BBC has dropped him from iPlayer as well, and I think Channel 4 has gone through their digital archive, and yeah, there you go. Meanwhile, this is a similar thing. Now again, when this special came out on, when was it, Saturday night, the Dispatches thing, there was rumours going around that it was actually going to target more than one person. Brand was like the hot favourite, because I didn't know it was until the very last minute, and then the news broke, because that's what happens. But I was saying that there may be 4 or 5 comedians that they were going to talk about, because there was a problem in the UK comedy industry with, well, I don't know, what do you call it, inappropriate behaviour? Well, anyway, the comedian Lucy Beaumont, and we've got a picture of her. Here she is. Well, she's come clean, and she says that her career is held back by predatory men that she's come across on the comedy circuit, and she suffered quite a few incidents early on in her career, and confirmed that the blacklist of alleged offenders, and so there was 15 men carrying out appalling behaviour. Lucy is married to fellow comic John Richardson. You might remember him. He's been in things. He says they've been in things. But she said, yeah, predatory male behaviour. Quite a few instances where if you're in any other workforce, you'd go to HR, but there isn't one in the world of comedy. I think it's everywhere, and it's just not talked about enough. So, who are the others? Who are the others? But yeah, there is a WhatsApp group for UK female comedians where they discuss predatory male comics. Yeah, so they'll get forewarned. You don't go near him. Meanwhile, an ex-model, did I name her? This is more Brand talk. We've got a lot of this. A former model claimed that Brand stalked her through the streets of London, demanding sex after they met in a bar. And she said the incident took place in 2005, and it culminated with him shouting her, "Let's just F right here." He's a charmer. You've got to admit, you can see why women fall for him. but she said it felt like he was hunting me down. It wasn't flirty or fun. The word predator is absolutely spot on. And she told the Sun about that, but she's anonymous, so we don't know who she is. But yeah, there's a theory, and it's only a theory, mind, that Russell Brand knew this was coming. Yeah, because we've been talking about this for many years. I mean, crikey, his behaviour back in 2005, 2006 was oft discussed, and then it culminated with the Andrew Sachs phone call where he left a message on Andrew Sachs, Manuel from 40 Towers, on his answer phone, bragging how he'd stumped his granddaughter. Because that's what you do, isn't it? That's what you do. This is the measure of the man. Him and Jonathan Ross both, lost their radio shows on BBC Radio over that. But you can see, where he's going. But there is a theory, it's only a theory, mind, that that the star has spent 4 years creating an online cult that was going to be there to support him when these allegations became public. And yeah, it's interesting because his film and acting work has kind of, well, it's just gone off the boil. And he's put all his time into the social medias. And look, they've done a little graph, right, with his face, which kind of makes it look kind of scary. It's like, ooh, guru. See, I've tried to start a cult on YouTube, but it didn't work. No, there's no sex, drugs, or money for me on YouTube. It's Facebook. So yeah, start a cult on YouTube. Meanwhile, there's a new book coming out. There's a new book coming out by Nigerian-born British author Atinuke. Is it just one word? Is it? A bit like Prince and Beyonce. And oh no, there's a whole name. Atinuke Kingsley Nbechi. And it's called The Brilliant Black History, and it celebrates. It's a really important book, actually. It celebrates black culture throughout British history. Very good book. And it's aimed at children aged 7 and above. But there's a little bump in the road, right? The introduction adds that Britain has been mostly a white country for a lot less time than it has been mostly a black country. Now, they're confusing the black country up in the Midlands, near Birmingham, aren't they? And they reckon that Stonehenge was actually built by black people, because they reckon that Neolithic Brits were black. Okay, I think it's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? It's a little bit of a stretch, but if that validates your race, then fine. But research published in 2019 suggested Neolithic farmers who built Stonehenge actually had paler skin and were descended from a population originating from Anatolia, which is Turkey now. But they had brown eyes and black or dark brown hair. But, not African. Well, we're all African, aren't we? Look at me, I'm African. If you try and trace back our lineage, come from Africa. But yeah, not sure that Stonehenge was created by black people. So that book, a little bit misleading, but it validates black British people. So that's a good thing, even though it's lying. Oh well, it's confusing, isn't it? Meanwhile, more confusion on Twitter. It's not called Twitter anymore. It's called X. Makes you feel dirty. Have you been on X lately? Our Lord and Saviour Elon Musk, he's going to take us to Mars and escape climate change on Earth, has come out and said, right, that he may start. Well, he is going to start charging to use X. This is the thing. They're all going to be doing it tomorrow. X. Yeah, he's going to charge us to tweet nonsense So we don't tweet anymore. We post nonsense on X. So if he thinks I'm going to pay to use his platform, no. I paid for it a bit because when it came in, because they did the like the blue tick thing, and I signed up purely for the promise that there'd be fewer adverts. And I tried it for a couple of months, and do you know what? There weren't. I felt that there weren't fewer adverts, and so I stopped. I stopped there. But yeah, so he reckons that he's doing that because it's one way of stopping the bots. There are other ways, and they include verifying email addresses. Yeah, and there are ways you can do that. Human interaction. Linking it to other social media accounts like Facebook, credit cards. There's loads of ways you can do it. But yeah, so X will no longer be free. That's no good, is it? What else have we got? Oh, this is an interesting one. This is court news. Got some court news. This is the story of Catherine Hudson and Charlotte Wilmot. Here they are. And they're on trial at the moment. And it's a curious one because they're on trial for mistreating patients because they worked at Blackpool Victoria Hospital between 2017 and 2018. And they've pleaded not guilty. Right? After allegations brought forward by a whistleblower, right? Because they've been accused of sedating patients unnecessarily and of drugging patients for their own amusement. And this came to light via a text message which said to sedate a man on a stroke unit to high heaven. Now, the two pled innocent and said this was just banter. Right? And they were allegedly involved in drugging patients for an easy life during their shifts and for their own amusement, prosecutors have claimed. How are they going to prove this? This is going to be a tricky one. Peter Wright, KC, told jurors at Preston Crown Court that messages between the two nurses have revealed a culture of abuse, and this is the hospital involved. But how do you prove it? It's going to be a tricky one. Hudson is an experienced Band 5 registered nurse, and Wilmot is a Band 4 assistant practitioner. And Wilmot said that the messages sounded awful, but they were merely black humour when she was interviewed by detectives. And again, if you work in those kind of professions, doctors' humour can be pretty dark, So yeah, this is an ongoing case, and again, 4 patients. Hudson denies ill-treating 4 patients and stealing Mebevervin. Yeah. And Wilmot denies encouraging Hudson to sedate one of these patients. So, what an interesting case. I wouldn't want to be on that jury. Did you update to iOS 17 yesterday? Apparently, it's ruining your battery life. It's the same story. I'm sure they just run the same story over and over and over again. Meanwhile, we'll update on the RAAC concrete. That's reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete. Remember the stuff from the 60s that crumbles? Well, they've got an update on how many schools have the crumbly concrete. Another list. 174 now. It's gone up. It's risen from 147 to 174. I don't think they've got the whole list here because that would be... No, they have. They have got the full list. So if you want to go on the Daily Mail website, you can see. You can see, look, or you can just, if you pause this, you can see, the whole of them. All of them. There's a lot, isn't there? So there you go. And this should have all been dealt with years ago. They've known about RAAC since the early 90s. But again, all governments are rubbish. Oh shit. Oh dear. Oh dear. Meanwhile, inquest news. This is a sad story, this is. And this will make me go... this is the story of Carl Hughes. And he was found dead in his own bedroom, right? The 61-year-old was found on September the 9th. He'd been working out with weights in his bedroom. And he's described here as a veteran weightlifter, so he knew what he was doing. They found him dead at his home in Ross-on-Sea in Wales, trapped under a 60-kilo bar. And they reckon he suffocated. It was a freak accident. Yeah. His lifeless body was found by the neighbour, and she went to check on him at his flat. Oh, that's terrible. And this is why, again, with heavy weights, you should always do it with a partner. You know, you need somebody to keep an eye out for you. You know, it's different doing dumbbells. You can do those on your own, but anything where you know, that can happen. What a sad story, you know. So yeah, we should always get somebody to keep an eye on you when you're doing that. What else have we got? Oh, here we go. This is the story. This is about the. Whoops. This is about old folk like me. Apparently more than 1 million over 50s are forced out of work as they approach retirement. This is new research that's been published. Right, this is based on Office for National Statistics data and part of a joint initiative by the ILC and Aviva. Right. That's the ILC is the International Longevity Centre think tank. Older people are leaving their jobs due to redundancy, ill health, or being pushed into early retirement by their employers, despite recent government efforts to encourage them to stay or return to work. They don't want us. Nearly 1 in 10 people aged 50 and state pension age are out of work involuntarily this year. And that's because there is an awful lot of ageism out there. Because once you hit, you know, I mean, crikey, it can happen in the late 40s. Once you hit that age, they don't want you. They see you as too expensive because you've got too much experience. They see you as a threat to them because you've got too much experience. And a younger manager do not want to take on older folk because we've been around the block a bit. And they'd hate to employ somebody that actually knows what they're doing. And so, yeah, it's very, very difficult now. And again, the government goes on about, we want you, you know, being Deliveroo drivers. All right. But it's very, very difficult. Right, what else have we got? Oh, we've got this is financial news. The economy, oh no. Apparently Britain's forecast of the highest inflation rate of the world's G7 economies this year. This is the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development. Today increased its prediction. And they reckon that this could lead to the Bank of England raising interest prices again. But, you know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It'll be fine. There's a little chart. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be just fine. Meanwhile, they've got a big. They've done a big. Oh dear, this is a migration thing. It's a big map. They got. Where is the picture? Here we go. Look at that. This is the migration crisis. Migrants all across Europe. Look at that. It's good, isn't it? Look, there's the route. that they're taking. Really from Syria and Libya. Again, we destabilise those countries and that's it. That's what happens. Meanwhile, the Met issues fresh weather warnings, more heavy showers and travel chaos. Oh dear. I had to put my jacket on last night, took the dog out. Meanwhile, what would you call this? Joke news. This is going to Australia. Right, this is a moment on Australia's Today Show. Co-host Carl Stefanovic and Sarah Abo were talking to a boy. Here he is. Oh, here's a screen grab. Oh, there we go. And he wanted to tell him a joke. Yeah. And I don't know if it's got, because, oh, there's an advert. There's always a bleeding advert. But he wanted to tell him a joke. Hopefully it's subtitled, because otherwise you're not going to hear the sound, because I haven't got the sound routed through the speakers. So the vegan and vegetarian jumping off a cliff, see who will hit the bottom first. Who wins? He said, I don't know who wins. And he says, society. There you go. I like the cut of that boy's jib. It's a funny one, isn't it? Meanwhile, did you know Oktoberfest is almost upon us? And apparently, the Prince of Bavaria, Leopold Ruprecht Heinrich, whose great-grandfather was the last Bavarian king, is furious. Why is he furious? He's furious because he says fake folk costumes for Oktoberfest are excessively low cut and show women's cleavage, and they're an insult and are cultural appropriation. Okay. But here's a picture of actual German ladies from Oktoberfest. I don't think they got those costumes from Amazon. He's blaming cheap Chinese knockoffs. They look pretty authentic to me. I just think he's got old, and he's lost interest in the bosomy action that you get at Oktoberfest. I mean, look, she's actually serving there, and she's got a fine pair. She's got some nice jugs of beer. I'm just oh dear. I'm finished. What a strange story. Do you think the Drindles, that's the costume? Did you know that's the costume for Oktoberfest? Did you know that they're called? Did you know? I give up. Meanwhile, we've got more alien news. Do you remember those aliens from... Oh, God, why are we doing this? Anyway, alien investigators claim to have done an autopsy on them. And here they are. No, look, this is ridiculous. Look at it. Look at it. It's going in and coming out of the scanner. Look, it's as stiff as a board. That's not a body. That's a model. Well, I reckon that one of the aliens is pregnant and they found eggs inside them. Look, there you go. Okay. Oh, dear. No. It's a model. Right, where are we? We got anything else going on here? Meanwhile, I'll go to Singapore. And court news. Oh, God. It's a big name. Tamal Selvam Ramamaya, right, who's an employee at an investment holding firm, Leong Hup, Singapore. He was sent down. On Monday. He was jailed for 2 weeks. Right? Why? Well, because back in autumn 2021, he deliberately coughed in the direction of colleagues after testing positive for COVID-19. Right? Now, he said that it was just a joke. He was just joking, but he's ended up in clink. There you go. They said the accused was initially wearing a mask, walked towards the office door and exited the office. And then he opened the office door and coughed into the office with his mask on. With his mask on, mind. And then exited the office. Deputy Public Prosecutor Shruti Bapana said. Right. So, and he got sent down for that 2 weeks because he tested positive for the vid. Nobody died. Nobody died. I don't think anyone got ill either. But there you go. Have to be careful. Got to be careful out there. Meanwhile, the fight against Jules and Khan continues. They've been using expanding foam. Mind you, it looks a bit like my mum's porridge. She used to serve me porridge looking like that. You could use it as putty. You could put glass in windows with it. But yeah, they're using expanding foam. Not that I would recommend you do that. Whereas this conscientious chap brought his stepladder and blocked the camera and warned everyone. There you go. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them bring ladders. And yeah, there's been a lot of damage. This one, they're using mobile ULEZ trucks. This one's been vandalised, and they're taking it away. So people are fighting back. Fight the system. Resist. Resist. Ay, 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 ay. Meanwhile, where is this? This is this is in Penge East railway station. Should we go? Oh, sorry about that. It's all gone a bit wrong. It's all gone a bit wrong. Oh, the wind's blowing. Do these microphones pick up the wind? You're going to Penge East railway station. Could be nice. Let's have a look what's going on. Oh dear, that don't look good. Oh, what's going on here? Oh no, that's not good. Oh no, dear. The natives are looking restless in Penge East. Yeah, this is a woman being attacked. Apparently she was robbed. After she'd been robbed on the train and they'd attacked her. They got off and attacked her. It's not very nice, is it? So don't go to Penge. Stay away from Penge. That's South London anyway. It's not good down there. It's not good. Meanwhile, the northern lights will be visible as far as south as Cumbria tonight. So keep your eye out for the northern lights. Aurora Borealis, localised to your kitchen at this time of year. Can I see? No, that's a Simpsons quote which I've completely mangled, but it doesn't matter. The missus still gets it. There you go. So if you want to look for Aurora Borealis, tonight's your night. There's more Russell Brand shit. See, they got even more. Look, just to see more. Ay. Meanwhile, Russia's run out of Prozac. Mind you, with Putin as your leader, you're probably going to need the happy pills, aren't you? You're going to need the happy pills. Comrade, we'll be happy. Or comrade, fall from high place. Yeah, apparently, the war in Ukraine has caused Prozac levels to drop. Apparently, the drug's only available at 4 out of 2,500 pharmacies and outlets in Moscow and 2 out of 1,300 in St. Petersburg. Sanctions mean that the last Prozac batch went on sale in June and supplies are almost exhausted. Crikey, just imagine that. If we have a whip round, right? We have a whip round and we buy up all the Prozac and we go over to Russia with a big black suitcase, right? We could be like Orson Welles in The Third Man, right? Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding, ding, and the cuckoo clock. Do-ga-do-ga-do-ba-do. And we can make a fortune. This time next year, Rodney, will be millionaires. Apparently, demand for the drug jumped by 63% in the weeks following the invasion. And but if you want Prozac, it's a big niet from the Russian pharmacists. We could be quids in. We could be quids in, couldn't we? And we don't even have to sell them Prozac. We could sell them fake Prozac. We could sell them sugar pills and just tell them to be happy. Oh, this is interesting. Pink Floyd news, everyone. Pink Floyd news. Now, this is interesting. A long time ago, in 2015, hasn't that long ago, 15 years ago? No, not 15 years ago. What am I talking about? 8 years ago, Davy Boy Gilmore and his missus Polly Sampson bought Medine House. Is that in Brighton? No, in Hove. It's close to Brighton, near Brighton. They bought it, and they got into a bit of bother because they kind of ripped the guts out of it because it was an old Turkish like bathhouse. It was one of those architectural interest places, and they ripped the guts out of it and renovated it. And it's got the local have nicknamed it Polly's Folly. Yeah, and they've look here you are. That's one way of getting the piano in, isn't it? Just wouldn't bother. Just buy a keyboard, a MIDI keyboard. Just left a bit, right a bit. Do you know the piano's on my foot? No, son, but if you hum it, I'll play it. But anyway, it's up for sale. They've put it up for sale, right? And they had it up for 15 million quids. 15 million quids. But because times are tough, they're not 5 million off. I think, missus, I think we should take it on. I could see me dancing naked by the open windows there. Can't you? I don't know, it just looks a bit... Mind you, they've got a lot of shit. I like it that they've got a lot of shit. We could put all our shit in there. Need a bigger bath, though. Need a bigger bath. But yeah, definitely consider that one. What do you reckon? Should we make an offer? Oh. Meanwhile, baby news. This is the story of a young girl born at a hospital in Bharatapur in northern state of Rajasthan. And she's quite issues. And you're probably thinking, little baby. But if you look closely, you'll find she's got 26 toes and 26 fingers. I mean, that's pretty handy if you need to do some mental maths, isn't it? You never run out of fingers there. And look at little tiny toes. Oh, wow. I mean, that's just being greedy, isn't it? And you couldn't do this little piggy went to market, could you? You'd have to invent new piggies because they're extra piggies. But they reckon she's the reincarnation of a well-known local deity called Adolagar Devi. Yeah, I reckon she's a Hindu goddess, been reincarnated. There you go, all those fingers. What's that? Mutant? No, we don't talk about the X-Men. There you go. Meanwhile, Lord Melvin Bragg says he doesn't understand why Gary Lineker earns 27 times more than he does working at the BBC, despite his Our Time show attracting a similar sized audience to Matter of the Day. No one knows why Gary Lineker earns that much money. He must have pictures, compromising pictures of the bosses, or he's really good at blowjobs. Talking to the BBC, this is BBC Breakfast, and the weatherman was a little bit enthusiastic. So he came on a little bit too early there. Get back, son. Shall we say that again? Here he comes. And then off he goes. Nobody noticed. Meanwhile, it's come out. Deputy Assistant Commissioner Stuart Cundy, what an unfortunate name, says that 60 Met police officers a month face the sack for wrongdoing as they try to root out the bad apples. And this is an interesting ruling. There's been a change to the UK's donor and anonymity law. And so if you were conceived using like egg or sperm donation, the children of that union can now contact their biological parents, which must be a bit shocking if you've ticked for anonymity. You know, a bit like when you do the lottery or the pools, you know, anonymity if you win. And they've changed that now so they can get in touch. It's going to be a bit shocking. I reckon a lot of people who donated on the promise that there'd be no returns, they're probably looking a bit nervous. And again, with all these like genealogy and DNA website services out there. Wow. Meanwhile, this is a story I've been following. There was a big scandal that's ran on for many years with the post office and the IT system that went wrong. Basically, there was a faulty IT system called the Horizon system, and this goes back under Labour, I think it was, and it wrongfully accused many postmasters and mistresses of stealing, and it resulted with some of them going to prison and some of them actually committing suicide over it. Well, the victims of the scandal have been finally offered £600,000 in compensation to settle the claim. And of course, the victims went, that's not enough. And it isn't enough. Because this was one of the biggest scandals. It goes back to 1999. That's when the Horizon accounting system was rolled out to the post office. And if there are any discrepancies in the accounts, the postmasters and mistresses had to make up the money themselves. The post office wrongfully prosecuted more than 700 people between 1999 and 2015 for false accounting or theft. And so far, only 86 convictions have been overturned and £21 million has been paid in compensation. And it's one of the biggest scandals. I mean, people lost their homes, their careers, their reputations and their lives over it. It's one of the biggest scandals, and the more we talk about it, the better. And that's, again, from Labour to Conservative. Both types of government watch that, and it makes me very, very angry. Have we got any more funnies? Any more funnies? I think we're almost done. Are we almost done? I don't know. I'll have a look in the funny folder, just in case there's anything else. Mind you, we do have the winner of the World Gurning Championship, right? And it was Tommy Mattison, who looks like he's a bit constipated. Apparently, he's won it 18 times in a row. I call fix. Let's see who else was there. I mean, there's some good competitors, I think. Yeah. I think it's a fix, though. But even comedian Josh Widdicombe turned up. There you go, and had a go, but he didn't win either. So should have got Anne Widdicombe to do it. Right, maybe not. I feel like I've gone on enough. I'm worried I'm losing the audience. Meanwhile, I've got 2 animal stories for you. Right. First one. Right. This is Rob Byrne. Right. From Bishopstoke in Hampshire. And he was a bit shocked. Why? What happened? Well, he was attacked indoors after an 11-foot python slithered through his window and tried to bite him. Right? And he's calling for snake owners to be a bit more responsible. Here he is in the back of the ambulance. He looks quite jolly though. You know, he probably sedated him. He's probably off his nut, isn't he? You heard about those nurses, and this is the python being taken away, and it was taken to a reptile welfare centre. I wonder if his name was Monty. But yeah, there you go. Apparently, there's been a rise in snake escapes. But yeah, they said that the snake itself had been well looked after, and they're waiting for its owner to be, to come forward. A director of the National Centre of Reptile Welfare, Chris Newman, said it was highly unusual to see an 11-foot python, as usually ones they receive were between 4 and 5 foot. He said that some of them can be real escape artists. He said you've only got to turn your back for a second and the snake will have disappeared. We really don't recommend taking snakes out into the garden. How would you take them for a walk? You have to get them a little lead, wouldn't you? A little collar. Meanwhile, we're not going to end there. We're going to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, we got a Florida story. It really is the place where dreams come true. Here we go. It's a stock image of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse. But apparently, right, Disney World closed parts of its Magic Kingdom. Some rides were closed because there was a reported sighting of a wild bear in a tree. And this triggered several attractions to be closed. This was yesterday afternoon. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, is aware of a black bear being reported in a tree in Walt Disney World. The FWC said in a statement. Biologists with the FWC's bear management program, as well as FWC law enforcement officers, are on the scene. Maybe. No, it was Yogi Bear. No, Yogi Bear was Hanna-Barbera. He wasn't. Disney haven't bought out Hanna-Barbera, have they? But yeah, so apparently the bear was seen in a tree near the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in Frontierland. And so they closed that down, as well as the Hall of Presidents, the Liberty Square Riverboat, Tom Sawyer Island, Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, and Walt Disney World Railroad, including Fantasyland, Frontierland and Main Street. But by 1 p.m. in the afternoon, those closed attractions were reopened to the public. The FWC said the bear was likely searching for food ahead of the upcoming winter hibernation season. But they didn't say whether or not they actually caught the bear, so he could still be out there somewhere. Could be exciting. It'd certainly make Disney World a little bit more interesting if there's a bear on the loose. If there's anybody in, let's see if there's anyone in. 12 people in. Blimey, it's almost a party. Jez is in, so there's something about Musk I can't put my finger on. He's either what he appears or potentially very dangerous. Well, he's on the spectrum, so just saying. Benny says, my CDs arrived this morning. Thanks, Darren. Well, glad you enjoyed them. Glad you gave me the money. Remember, folks, Benny he's intelligent, he's smart, he's handsome, he smells good, he's a hit with the ladies. But more importantly, he buys my CDs, and that means he's top bloke. And you can buy my CDs at darrenlock.bandcamp.com/merch, and I got a big box of them. Got a big box there. I can show you the box, but I need help, right? Because I went a bit stupid and I ordered a load of CDs that I realised that no one's interested in. And I need you. I need you to buy them. I need you to buy these CDs, please, because Mr. Bartleycar's going to come round and beat me up. You know, so please help me. I don't ask for much in this world. Not just a little bit of help. You know, they're good. Benny will attest. Tell them, Ben. Tell them how good they are. Tell them what good quality they are, and how you were impressed by the design and the overall quality of the print and stuff. Tell them, Ben. Tell them, I need your help, man. You're my only hope. You're my only hope of flogging a few extra CDs. Harry's in. He says there's been more credit crunches than Tubular Bell sequels at this point. Well, you know, it's what happens. We're up and down, up and down. But I don't know if you notice, life goes on. Prices always come up. They never come down. Up, no, down, never down. Just as the Dutch started phone thing with cameras years ago, they called themselves the Tough Club. It's a good story. And Harry says, I love a good Aurora Borealis indeed. And G-Man says, I just saw the Northern Lights being mentioned above. I saw the lights doing their thing. I was listening to radio as they were in full flow. Brian Eno and Ascent came on. It felt very appropriate. And did you float off into the cosmos? Ding, 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 ding. That's from Apollo. I was just doing a bit of Apollo, but it didn't really come across because I needed more reverb. Anyway, that was coffee time. And I want to thank you if you're watching this on Facebook for watching, because more views on Facebook than on YouTube, because YouTube's busted. They don't like me. Facebook likes me. So yeah, if you follow me on the YouTubes, you can watch it there. And I'm posting content there as well now. So because they like video now. Facebook's likes video. It's good, isn't it? So right, thank you for watching. Oh, Harry says the life goes on and on as Captain Sensible says, and Oliver Tree, I believe. You a big fan of Oliver Tree? Check him out. He does that song. Life goes on and on and on and on. No, just me then. Got to keep with the kids. Got to keep with the kids, man. And that was the news. Killing the channel one video at a time. You gotta drink it up. Ta-ta.